Hello everyone, welcome to the third video, Understanding Assessment in Competency-Based Dynamic Curriculum for MD/MS Unani, first semester course Biostatistics, subject code Unipg-Bs. Now we shall see the overview of the entire syllabus, biostatistics course learning outcomes, syllabus with all modules and units, implementation of the syllabus, that is theory, practical and experiential learning with examples and references. Finally, understanding assessment, that is formative and summative with examples. In this video, we will be discussing about understanding assessment, that is formative and summative with examples. Assessment. Assessment is divided into modular assessment and summative assessment. Modular assessment is done at the end of each module. Duration 2 hours per credit, 25 marks per credit. Calculation of MGP and SGPA are done under modular assessment. SGPA will be calculated at the end of the semester as an average of all module MGPs. Students should get minimum of 60% of SGPA to qualify for the summative assessment. Summative assessment done at the end of semester 1. It's an university examination, duration 3 hours and 100 marks assigned for the summative assessment. Modular assessment or formative assessment, common instructions. Assessment method, use different assessment methods for each module, and this has been described in the curriculum in detail. Coming to module specific assessment, for module 1, practical structured viva. For module 2, working portfolio on experiential learning, components of the module. Module 3, problem-based assessment and performance assessment. Module 4, structured educational video. Module 5, open response questions. Module 6, practical record workbook. Any practical in converted form can be taken for assessment, or any experiential as portfolio, reflections or presentations can be taken as an assessment to be conducted at the end of each module. It carries 2 hours per credit and 25 marks per credit. Calculate the modular grade point as per table 6C. Modular assessment, that is formative assessment. This is a view from page number 18. Modular assessment methods are shown, are listed, and here you can see A, 1 practical structured viva for 20 marks, B, practical record book 5 marks, and 2 hours has been allotted for this assessment method. What is practical structured viva? For 20 marks, prepare 10 viva questions carrying each 2 marks covering all topics of the module 1. Prepare key points for the answer and assign marks to each step. Example of a question. What is mean in statistics? The answer key would be, for definition, you give 1 mark. That is, the mean is a measure of central tendency, also known as the arithmetic average of the data set. Formula 1 mark, mean is equal to sum of all observations divided by number of observations. Score marks for each student as per the answer key out of 20. Assign marks for practical record book for each student out of 5 marks. So coming to any practical in the converted form can be taken for assessment. This table is a view from page number 16 of the curriculum. Here the practical training number is 1.5 and the name of the activity is calculation of measures of dispersion, 3 sets of data given by the teacher. The activity details would be demonstration by the teacher, hands-on training. The teacher would divide the students into small groups, encourage the students to discuss the activity and findings within their groups, invites each student to present their results. Finally, the teacher shall summarize the key concepts covered in the practical. So, any practical in the converted form can be taken for assessment. As an example, the practical may be converted and taken as a part of the formative assessment by giving data set to the students and instructing them to calculate the measures of dispersion manually and using statistical software or tools. Coming to any experiential as portfolio or reflections or presentations can be taken as an assessment. Here, this is a view from page number 31 of the curriculum. Here, the experiential learning number is 2.10. Name of the activity is study design, sampling techniques, and sample size formula. Coming to the activity details, the students is instructed. Step 1, plan scenarios. Step 2, specify the study design. Step 3, specify the sampling techniques to be used. Step 4, specify the sample size formula that has to be used. Step 5, compile and submit a report. The teacher shall summarize the submitted report and give the feedback. Here, the working portfolio on experiential learning of the module, give 5 marks for each step. This is an instruction for the students. Submit a draft report of your own experiential learning. Receive feedback from your mentor on methodology. Revise the report based on the feedback. Include reflections on what you learned after experiential learning. Write notes on what was challenging and how you overcame the obstacles. This is a sample calculation method for MGP and SGPA for a student. The first column shows the module number with their title. The second column, B column, shows the number of credits. C shows the actual number of notional learning hours. D column shows the attended number of notional learning hours. E column shows the maximum marks of the assessment of modules by the student. F column shows the marks obtained per module. Coming to the last column, it shows MGP calculation D into F divided by C into E into 100. So there are 6 modules and the titles are shown and the number of credits assigned for each modules are shown. And if you take this as an example and assume that a student has got MGP for the first module as 63, second as 72 and so on, which can be represented as C1, C2, so on up to C6. So semester grade point average would be summing up of all CIs, that is C1 plus C2 plus C3 plus C4 plus C5 plus C6 divided by number of modules, that is 6. The student has obtained 63%. So he has got more than or he has got 63%, which is greater than or equal to 60%, hence qualified to appear for the summative assessment or university examination. Coming to the summative assessment university exam, the subject code is Unipg-Bs. It consists of one paper, 100 marks for theory, and there is no practical, hence the total is 100. There are 3 types of questions, ABQ, SAQ, and LAQ. So application-based question, number of questions is 1 to be asked, and marks assigned for this particular question is 20 marks. Hence, the total is 20 marks. Coming to short answer questions, 8 questions should be asked, 5 marks for each, and total of 40 marks has been assigned for this particular SAQ questions. Coming to LAQ questions, 4 questions need to be asked, each carrying 10 marks. So, overall 40 marks assigned for this particular LAQ questions. So, total of 100 marks has been assigned for the university examination. Coming to the blueprint for summative assessment, that is university examination. This is available from page number 84. Here you can see the question numbers. There are 3 types of questions and they are ABQ, SAQ and LAQ questions, and the format or the module from which these questions need to be asked are shown in the last column. For example, ABQ question should be asked from Module 2, Unit 1, Unit 2, Module 3, Unit 1, Unit 2. Coming to short answer questions, these are the modules from which the questions need to be framed. Coming to LAQ questions, the modules are listed from which it has to be taken. So instructions for paper setting. Questions should be formulated based on table 6F. Question should not be framed for a specific unit if it is marked as no. One application-based question, ABQ, will carry 20 marks and no additional questions should be asked from the same module where the ABQ is framed. Except for the module on which ABQ is framed, at least one short answer question should be framed from each module. Long answer questions should be structured analytically, assessing the higher cognitive skills. Now coming to a application-based question of 20 marks, it should be asked from module 2 or module 3, and 20 marks assigned for this question. A sample question from module 3, that is test of significance and parametric statistical test, is shown below. So the A part of the question is identify the statistical test used for the following, assuming normality and homogeneity of variances are met, and state the null hypothesis, which carries 10 marks, and there are 5 subdivisions or 5 set of questions asked below. For A division, to compare the means of two groups, independent or paired. B, to compare means across 3 groups, 3 or more groups. C, to compare the means of two related groups, typically before and after treatment. D, to determine if there is a significant difference between the sample mean and population mean, or to compare the proportions of two groups. E, to test the strength and direction of the linear relationship between two continuous variables. Coming to the part B of the question, a researcher wants to test if a new diet plan has an effect on the weight of the individuals. A sample of 10 patients is taken and their weight is measured before and after the diet plan. The data is shown as follows, and 10 marks assigned for this particular question. So here you can see patient number 1, 2, 3 up to 10, and before the weight before diet in kg is shown in the second row, weight after diet in kg is shown in the third row. Coming to the key and how the marks has been assigned for each question has been shown. Coming to first question, it consists of 2 parts. The first A part shows you have to name the test and you have to frame the null hypothesis. For A, the answer is students t-test. The null hypothesis is there is no significant difference between the means of two groups. Coming to B, the answer is analysis of variance. The null hypothesis is all group means are equal. No significant difference exists. Coming to C part, paired t-test, null hypothesis is there is no significant difference between the paired measurements, that is the mean difference is 0. Coming to the D part, Z test, the null hypothesis is the sample mean or proportion is equal to the population mean or proportion. Coming to the fifth subdivision, the answer is Pearson's correlation test, and the null hypothesis is there is no significant linear relationship between the two variables, that is the correlation coefficient is 0. Coming to the second question, B part, key steps are give 2 marks for identifying correctly as paired t-test. For all other steps, assign 1 mark each. There are 8 steps. First step, state the null hypothesis. Second step, calculate the differences between paired observations. Step 3, compute the mean and standard deviation of the differences. Step 4, calculate the test T statistics. Step 5, determine the degrees of freedom. Step 6, find the T value, critical T value. Step 7, compare the calculated T value with the critical T value. Step 8, conclusion. Uh, it should be concluded at 5% significance level. There is sufficient evidence to conclude there is statistically significant effect on the weight of individuals. This is how the marks are assigned. Coming to short answer questions, it should not be asked from module 3. It can be asked in the other modules listed in the syllabus as shown here. This is from page number 84. Let us assume a question has been set up in module 5, unit 1. This is a sample question. Define point and period prevalence and state any 3 differences between the incidence and prevalence of a disease. And the key and the marks assigned for each key has been shown below. Definition of the point prevalence, give 1 mark. Definition of period prevalence, give 1 mark. 3 differences between the incidence and prevalence, you assign 3 marks, 1 for each. Coming to the analytical based long answer questions, it carries 10 marks. This is a view from page number 84. And the analytical based structured long answer question should be asked from these modules. Since the long answer question has been ABQ questions has been assigned from module 3, it should not be asked from that. So coming to module 1, unit 1, as an example, we have taken a question. The duration of time from first exposure to HIV infection to AIDS diagnosis is called the incubation period. The incubation periods of a random sample of 5 HIV infected individuals are given in years. They are 12.0, 10.5, 9.5, 6.3, 13.5. Now, the questions has been asked are calculate the range, B, calculate the sample mean, C, calculate the sample median, D, calculate the sample standard deviation, E, if the number 9.5 in the above data set is changed to 8.5, what would happen to the sample mean and median? So summary, so far we have seen assessment that is formative with the examples, assessment summative with the examples. So recap, so we have seen biostatistics course learning outcomes, biostatistics syllabus, modules and units. In the first video, in the second video, we have seen implementation of the syllabus, that is theory, practical and experiential learning with the example and references. Finally, we have seen understanding assessment and formative and summative with the examples in this video. Thank you.